Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us. We do appreciate it. Today, we're going to be going over advanced CPG analysis for more growth, which means looking at BI for the consumer product goods industry. And that is going to be our focus today. But if you are not a part of that industry specifically, this can be scaled to any size, any industry. So it'll at least be a good look at what BI can do for you. And if there is any interest after the fact, we can always run through it with you specifically and showcase how it can be useful for your industry. We are AlphaBOLD. We are a technology consulting firm based out of Carlsbad, California. We're a Microsoft partner, Microsoft Gold partner, that is. We're also Microsoft's Partner of the Year for Dynamics CE, for customer service, that is. So we're super proud of that. We also have several other practices outside of BI, which is our focus today, but that being Dynamics, SharePoint, DevOps, AI. I'm sure there's others, NetSuite for ERP, but we are a full solution provider with a lot of different knowledge transfers throughout our company to help our clients. A little bit about us. My name's Nick. I'm the sales manager here at AlphaBOLD. I'll be running the back end of the webinar. So if any questions or comments come through, please enter them in that questions or chat box, and we'll try to get to those throughout the webinar. If we can't, then I'll reach out to you afterwards with some answers. We are also joined by Aves Aslam, who is our practice BI manager, or BI practice manager, sorry. But he has over a decade of experience in the field, and he's going to be leading the webinar today, running through some slides, as well as showcasing some demos for you so you guys can see the benefits of using Power BI. Next slide, please. So we do actually have a lot of just different industries under our belt as far as who we've worked with, those being like healthcare, manufacturing, construction, financial. There's quite a few others, but today it's going to be more on the CPG side. And as far as how we use BI for these different industries, it can be anything from sales forecasting, marketing analytics, budgeting. For example, like within manufacturing, we do sales forecasting, and we use AI to better predict kind of those sales forecasts, as well as that leads into demand planning. So helping customers throughout that process. We also have experience with big data. So working with clients in the energy and utility space, where they're taking on millions of readouts, meter readouts each and every single day, and being able to consume that data, present it so that way you can see power consumption, or you can detect anomalies and be able to react to those accordingly. And then also within construction, being able to project out budgets for projects and then track your actuals based on labor consumed or materials or equipment being brought in. So our BI is, we have a ton of breadth as far as being able to utilize it in different industries and making it so it's actionable for our clientele. And essentially what we're going to be going through is a ton of information today, so I am going to kick it over, but we want you to come away from this knowing, use your data, it's yours, and make some data-driven decisions for your company to realize significant growth. So this is where I'm going to pass it off. Again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to enter them in the questions box. And then I'll also be launching a couple polls here and there throughout the webinar. But that is where I stop. And Wes, you can go ahead and take it away.
Thank you for having me today, Nick. And before starting this webinar, I want to acknowledge and say thank you for all the efforts that our marketing and sales team has made to make this event successful. So as per the agenda of this webinar, we will cover following outline that is in front of your screen. And I will start from the basic component of this webinar, but I will not take much time of it as we have a lot of things to cover in this webinar, and I have 3 demos to present. So I will present what is the impact of CPG industry on US GDP, how things work in this industry, and why analytics are so much important for this industry. And then I will share what is the importance of advanced analytics in modern world to keep business ahead of other competitors. After that, I will share what will be the tangible growth looks like after implementing advanced analytics. And after that, I will show you what are the bold CPG analytics and how we are solving most challenging situation in this industry using bleeding edge technologies and how our solution works. Then I will also present architecture of solution that we have, and then most important, I will showcase syndicated data, sales data, and what benefits we could unlock using these data sources. And to keep things relevant, I will demo actual dashboards, Power BI dashboards, side by side with the presentation. And a first demo will showcase KPIs on syndicated data and scan data. Then I will present how depletion is being monitored in CPG industry and how we could align it with our sales. And at the end, I will showcase promotions and planograms and how we could get most out of it. Okay, so let's talk about the CPG industry itself. And I will try my best to establish the fact that how much importance everyone has as being a part of this industry. And CPG industry is the biggest contributor in a US GDP, as US GDP is around $2.9 trillion. And this industry alone is making contribution of 10% of the GDP by pumping $2.8 trillion in this economy. So this is a huge, and because of its vast scale impact, problem associated with these industries are also very challenging. And in this webinar, I will address few of the challenges that we have addressed using our advanced analytic solutions. So the biggest segment is food and beverages, and only this category is generating 10% of US employment, and more than 27,000 organizations and companies are linked with food and beverages. And this segment alone is pumping $1.4 trillion in US GDP. So I will be focused on this industry for this webinar, and all my case studies would be aligned with that segment. Okay, so first part of this webinar is advanced analytics, and it is important to differentiate it from traditional reporting. Well, in advanced analytics, it's not just, it just doesn't tell you what happened and how it happened, but it also helps us to answer why it happened and what should do next to rectify it. And another characteristic of advanced analytics is it keeps improving for better and more accurate answers. And it is not a linear way to go there. And I believe to go to get best from advanced analytics, we have to keep feedback loop intact in this process to make things more accurate and to resonate more with the business cases. And it is a cycle of continuous integration in which we get insight from the data and we put it into the planning, and that helps us to take actions around our businesses. And I will demonstrating it in a demo about how we are maintaining this life cycle using data engineering, advanced analytics, and Power BI dashboard that we have on top of that data. Okay, now let me show you the tangible and observed growth that companies have achieved after implementing advanced analytics for their CPG businesses. These are the real numbers, and with the proven growth, if you are interested, you can find more details about this case study that was conducted by CPG Analysis using the URL that I will provide you after the slide deck or after this presentation. Well, from my perspective, being a technical manager, it is a critical to understand how this 10 plus growth of percent of growth is comprised of applying advanced analytics to various areas of this industry. For instance, if we implement demand forecasting using supply chain or the depletion data, most probably it will boost business up to 2.5%. And I will also show you in a demo how we have implemented depletion forecasting using machine learning algorithms that keep learning as and when new data comes in. Then if companies could monitor ROI and promotional effectiveness, then they can grow their business by 2 to 2.5%. And good news for you is we also have a demo for you in this webinar around promotional analysis and how we can calculate ROI using our promotional effectiveness dashboard on the Power BI. On third position, if we mobilize field sales based on data-driven actions, then it will enhance business by 2%. And we have designed a solution that identify voids in regions and help sales teams to untap the potential sales on that area. And on the fourth, if we track and monitor sales on each individual outlet or stores in a retail chain, then it will boost sales by 1 to 2%. And our third demo will showcase how we can monitor outflow and inflow of each store for each individual products that are out there. Okay, so moving forward, so from now on, I will be explaining how Bold CPG Analytics has addressed most of the pain point of this industry and what are the major components and data point involved in it and how we are sourcing data from various systems. Well, Bold CPG Analytics is a set of dashboards and the processes that ingest data from syndicated sources like Nielsen, IRI, and then we merge it with scan data that we receive from retail stores directly. And apart from these two data sources, we also integrate depletion or you can say distribution data. And we have also information about loyalty data of the customers. And once the data has been centralized, cleaned, and transformed, it is ready for the analysis. We can use these processes, process data in a variety of applications, such as Power BI for dashboarding and the self-service BI. We train forecasting algorithm in Azure AutoML using the same process data. And also business users can consume these data set directly from their Excel file for just self-service kind of actions. And this whole solution is designed to remove data silos in organization and to business units to collaborate more among each other. So okay, so I will just walk you through what platform and technologies we are using to solve this problem. I will try to keep it simple so that business users can also understand the whole process behind the scene. On a source layer, we have data sources in different shapes like CSV files or the text file, and they could be even on the FTP server. We have PDF file for the planograms. We have relational database and the Excel file. And we periodically read these data sources or the information using our specialized extract and load jobs that we have created on Azure Data Factory that dumps data in Azure Data Lake. And on top of these data lakes, we have implemented extract, load, and transform jobs that we call ELT jobs to read data from data lake and transform it and move it to unified cloud data warehouse, and which is Azure Synapse in this case. And here we have built fact and dimensions that later accessed by Azure AutoML and Power BI for advanced analytics. And Microsoft Data Services are our first choice because of performance and reliability. But this whole process is very much platform agnostic and could be implemented in AWS or any other cloud platform. Okay, so let's talk about data sources that I will be using in demos. So, well, based on our experience, for any company, data is the most valuable asset for them. They can do wonders, or they can just make it a pile of junk information that would be hard to manage. And if we talk specifically about the CPG domain, it became very crucial to gather information from all the systems to monitor performance of your product. I will be presenting syndicated data like Nielsen and IRI, scan data or the sales data that would be coming directly from the retail stores, distributor data. In this case, I will be using VIP system that most of the beverages companies use for distribution and depletion, and promotion data that companies offer promotion on their products, and planograms, which are basically information about your product location in the retail store. And the last, customer loyalty data to track buying pattern of your customers. So the integration of this platform or the data source has been the most difficult challenge we have encountered in CPG or FMC organization, because of the decentralized nature of the CPG industry itself. And their business unit, they have different teams and team members and various platforms that own these data sets, and most of the time also don't communicate with each other, and and are often unaware of what other teams are doing that they could benefit from. So we have done a lot of research among the disparity of these systems, and we have done a lot of research how we can solve those problems specific to the CPG industry. Okay, so let's move toward the first case study that we have. So I'm going to present you case study based on syndicated data and the scan data. Well, these data sources are most resourceful in terms of information that they have. For example, in syndicated data like Nielsen and IRI, they are data provider companies, and we have to buy this data from these companies. Basically, they sell market analysis, like what are the sales of your product in a market or a region. For instance, Nielsen has defined its own market region and has further classification based on channels like grocery, convenience, drug, military, and mass merchandise. So we can find sales of any specific product in a market that belongs to any channel. So using syndicated data, we can find what is all commodity volume, distributed ACV, and volume per million ACV of any market or channel. And on the other hand, if CPG organizations are resourceful enough to get scan data directly from the retail store or the outlet, then they can see actual sale of their product and their competitor sales in any particular store in the region. It looks straightforward, but most challenging part to make them centralized is that one information is on market level and other is on a store level. So we need an intelligent method to associate each retail store with the syndicated market and the channel. And we have AI-based solutions that intelligently map retail store to Nielsen market, so that we could analyze data cross-platform. So once you are able to put these data in a centralized and unified format, you can answer some tough questions around your business. And few of them I will show you in a demo after this slide. So first KPI or question that we could answer is how your product is performing in each store, as well as how your competitors' products are performing in the same market or the channel. It will definitely help you to assess your product's actual on-ground performance. We can identify marketing opportunities or gaps. For example, if our competitors are performing exceptionally well in certain regions, while your products are falling short or not generating impressive sales, we can identify and mark such areas to drive more sales and marketing activities on that specific region or the market. Even we can gauge performance of stores relative to ACV of the market, where it has been located. For example, if we sell 100 units per day in 2 different stores, and they both are in different markets, and one store is in a market which has higher ACV than the other, then most probably store that is in high ACV market is underperforming, whereas the other store may be outperforming based on small volume of the market where it has been located. So it's very important to gauge the performance of your retail stores based on the market associated with it. So that will really help you to make a kind of leaderboard for your retail stores. We can identify which store need our utmost attention to make focused sales effort. And also we can identify missing flavors, missing products or demand of a market by just keeping an eye on competitors and market trends using syndicated data. Okay, so now time for the first demo. I will show you how things will look like on the Power BI dashboard. So Nick, if you wanna initiate call on it.
As you switch over, I just wanted to get a little bit of feedback from everybody out there to see kind of what your thoughts are and how you guys feel about whether or not you can track how your product's performing in a given territory and or store. You have a very clear picture, you know exactly what's going on, or it takes a little bit of work. You gotta compile a bit of data on your own manually and create reports out of that, or you don't really know, and you need something like Power BI and data analytics to get that clear picture. So getting some answers in here, we're going to leave it open for another 5 seconds, but it looks like the majority of you, it does take some work to get this done. So thank you for showing up today. Hopefully we can show you how easy it can be to have a clear picture. And that's where I'm going to close it up. Again, thank you guys for your response.
Thank you, Nick. So this is the Power BI dashboard, and that is sourcing data from the syndicated data, which is Nielsen in this case. And we are also sourcing data directly from the retail store. So basically, theoretically, what we have in this dashboard, we have a leaderboard on our first visual in which we can track how much sales we have made in each store with their address and all the things. We have our Nielsen market. So if we want to analyze performance of the store specifically to associate it with any of the Nielsen market, then we can select value from it. And we can also see store statuses, and we can also analyze all the data based on the brand or the sub brand that we have for our product. So, and then we can also analyze Nielsen market, what all the markets that are associated with our products, and what is the volume per million ACV of this market, and what is the volume base of this market. So we can slice and dice our visual based on these values. So, and the most interesting thing here is you can see all the volume dollar sale that has been made through your stores on this map. So you can see which region is most contributing or more productive in terms of sales. And then we can also drill down on any state or the city as well. And then we have the decomposition tree in which we can see how the total volume has been distributed in different channels and the market. And then we can also see details associated with it. For example, these are the store names, and they are associated with this market. So we can see how many sales we are making in each store that has been associated with this market. So let me show you an example here. For example, if I go here and then just select this Boston market, then you will see that all the visual has been rendered accordingly, and the stores that are associated with Boston has been filtered down, and you can see that is the store that is making most contribution in terms of sales. And if I am interested to see this thing on a map, then I just have to click it, and then you can actually see the store on the map that it located here, and this is the volume associated with it. And I can also see what is the market associated with this store, and what is the volume per million ACV of that market, and from which channel this store belongs to. So that is the, again, the same KPI that I explained in slide deck. We can validate, or we can get numbers, or we can get the performance of each store relative to the market that we Nielsen market that we have in our syndicated data. Okay, so jumping back to my slide deck. So, okay, so moving forward, next important data source that will be our focus of attention is depletion data. This data is about how CPG organization distribute their products to distribution centers and how they deplete this product to actual retail stores. Take an example. Consider it, you are soft drink manufacturer and company is shipping units or the cases to distribution centers across these states. And now these distribution centers are responsible for delivering these products or the cases to all the authorized retail store in the territory. And on the other hand, if we have sales data or the scan data, which is directly coming from the retail stores with the weekly frequency, then we can keep an eye on inflow and outflow of each and every store in the United States where our products are selling. So, well, I will show you in the next slide what does it actually mean to your business and what benefits any business can harness while putting syndicated, depletion, and scan data combined. Okay, so once we have these data sources centralized in data warehouse, we can solve most challenging problem in supply chain domain. The first problem that we have solved in the is depletion forecasting. We have trained machine learning models to forecast the future depletion that make supply and demand loop intact. It also helps us organizations to plan their supply or manufacturing beforehand based on these forecasted values. Next important thing that you can find is the market void. You can see voids in the market where your products are not being depleted. Either it could be because of your product or the flavor is not authorized, or it could be an actual void. And companies could fill this void by keeping their distributor informed about this void or the problem beforehand. Moving forward, we can predict out of stock situation on each individual store. We have inflow and outflow information of all these stores using depletion data and the scan data. We can see if sales are getting high and the distributor are not depleting products with the same pace, then it's very likely that store will be out of stock soon for your product. And the same case, if sales are very low, and we know when last time distributors depleted products to the store and how much units were depleted that time, then we can predict that our products will be expired soon on the shelf. Also, we can keep track of volume per outlet information by keeping historical data of depletion in data warehouse that will help companies to see actual volume of their product in a market or a region. Okay, so another demo time. So in this demo, I will show you forecasting model and its output and some advanced analytics on depletion and the scan data. So again, Nick, we have another poll for you guys. So Nick, you can share the poll.
Yeah, wanted to see of those people who are in attendance, how do you guys get notified of your stock levels? Is it something that you guys are proactive against, or are you waiting for the store to notify you, or waiting for your channel partner to notify you? Is someone internally just calling and checking, or emailing and checking, double checking there, or do you have a report for that? And it's a simple click away. So we got, looks like a 50-50 split between have someone internal and then you have a report for that. So I'll leave this open for another couple of seconds, and looks like it's sticking at 50-50. All right, so I am going to close this out. Again, thank you guys for your responses. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick. So basically, the dashboard that you are seeing here right now is basically based on the neural network AI-based algorithm that we have deployed on Azure Auto ML. Basically, what we are doing here is we have depletion data from last 1 year, and we are forecasting how many units we need to deplete in the week of 20th and the 27th week of the September. So that will help you to keep your demand and supply loop intact. So when you will be aware that how much units you want to deplete in the industry, then obviously you can set the expectations of manufacturer or the supply chain team to produce those cases in time and beforehand. So again, you can slice and dice based on different filters that we have. We can analyze this data based on territory, bottler, division, the business unit, and the call point, and even for the distribution center. For example, right now, the trend line that you are seeing here, it is based on division, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. And then when I will select a BU2, then you will see that all the associated bottler will be filtered down here. So basically what we are doing here, we are getting historical data. We are feeding this information to our neural network, and we have identified features like call point, distributor center, invoice date, and based on these features, we are forecasting two future points on the trend line. And why we have kept this future horizon on only 2 points, because we want to make these things more aligned with our businesses. So when we will increase this forecast horizon, then obviously things will become fading out. So that would be chances that it will not be more accurate as per our business needs. And we have also distribution, or you can say detailed data for this forecasting. For example, in this case, we have the BU2 and the division, territory, and these are the bottler. And we have forecasted values for these bottler that we are expecting that this bottler 239 will be depleting 536 units in the week of 20th in September. And again, we have the same forecasting for products. We can forecast how many products we will be depleting in the industry or in the market for the week of September 20th and the 27th. We know that we will be depleting 10,573 items for item 725, and then same case for I-125. So I want to show you that the variance or the deviation from the actual values and the forecasted value is very minimum, and most of the time it is less than 20% difference that we have. So the forecast that we have making for our depletion is very much accurate and very much aligned with our businesses. And then the second dashboard or the advanced analytics that we have for depletion is this thing, and this is basically giving you a complete perspective how much products any distributor is depleting, what brands have been depleted in any region or the channel or on the division, and how many cases have been depleted by each distributor. And then we can also see on ground cases that have been depleted. And then at the end, we have inflow and outflow for each store, so that we can see how many cases we have depleted in each store and how many cases we sell on the specific store. So let's take an example. We have the distribution center 576 that is responsible for depleting most of our cases or the units. So when I will select on it, then you will see all the brands that have been depleted with this distributor center or through this distribution center has been highlighted, and we can see that that this is the number that this distribution has depleted in the region. And interesting thing is to identify the voids or untap the areas where we are not depleting cases, we can see numbers on map. For example, I can see that what is the distribution and how many cases we have distributed in each store in Ohio state. For example, this distribution center is responsible for distributing cases on Ohio state, and then we can see that how many cases we have depleted in each city. And if we are further interested to see on the actual store level, then even we can drill it down on the store level as well. So look, this is the actual store that we have used or we have depleted most of the cases in Ohio state. And what is the address of it? We can also see in which market or the channel this store belongs to. We also know how many cases we have depleted, and we also know how many units we have sold on this store. So we can see or we can predict stock out situations using this analytics or using this dashboard. Okay, so going back to my presentation. Let's discuss first what are the planograms. As we know in CPG industry, it's all about getting attention of your buyers, and each store has its own plans and configuration to drive more in-store purchases. Most of the people buy products that are easy to approach on the shelves or on human eye level. And you might have observed that cheap products will always be on bottom shelves. So getting a premium location on shelves and aisles is an expensive job to do. And CPG companies pays a lot for premium location. But the question is, what is the impact of your product location on your sales? Most of the stores have planogram information in pictorial format or in PDF with the data that could not be consumed directly for analytics. So we have our own Python-based processes that extract information from planograms for products, like where product has been placed in each store and how much space has been allocated for specific product. And as we already have scanned data for retail stores, then we can gauge impact of planograms configuration on sales that is happening in each particular store. And next data source that we have is promotional data. It contains information of promotions being offered to the product. But what was the offer and price for particular promotion, and what was the validity of it. We have all this information in this data set. And it also tells us either this promotion was only for a specific retail chain or for the specific retail stores. And when we combine this data with scan or the sale data, we can see impact of promotions on overall sales that we are making on our retail stores. So these are the questions that we could answer by combining promotions data and the scan data. We can gauge the promotion effectiveness on the overall sales in the store. We can also see impact on sales of those products that don't have any active offer or the promotions. Take an example. If we got positive response on sales because of successful promotional price, that it is likely that companies will adhere with promotional plan even in the next year in the same season. But if response wasn't good, then they need to offer a new promotional price or maybe choose other product for promotions. And these trends will help us to identify seasonality and impact of seasonal promotions. Like if it's the summer season, then most likely offering price promotions would not be a good idea for the beverages. Instead promotions like 2 in a $5 kind of promotion in a peak season would drive more sales for your business. But to make these decisions, we need analytics, and we have a dashboard for you. So now let's hop on to our last demo, in which I will show you analytics for promotional data analysis. So I believe Nick has another poll for you guys. So Nick, you can kick it off.
One more poll for you guys. I promise I won't bug you anymore with polls, but before we jump into seeing the effectiveness of promotions, how do you guys feel you can see the effectiveness of your promotions? You have a perfect understanding of them. You know exactly what works and what doesn't at all times, or you do need some more visibility, or you just kind of are a little bit in the dark and need some help here. Love to hear your feedback. Looks like about 70% of the people are saying they'd like more visibility, and I think it would be tough to get a full, complete understanding, but yeah, more visibility is always better. Gonna leave this open for 2 more seconds. And again, thank you everybody for your votes. We do appreciate it. Back to you.
Thank you, Nick. So this is our last demo for this webinar, and basically what we are doing here, we are gauging effectiveness of promotions that we have offered on our brands or on our products. So what we have here, so we have the date range in which we have offered different promotions. We have brand, we have sub-brand, we have products. So for this particular demo, I have selected this date range, and you can see these are the promotions that were being offered on our brand or the sub-brand. And for example, for demo, I have selected this promotion that 2 for $4.25 or 3 for $5.75 promotion. And if I want to analyze it, then just we have to select this promotion, and then all the analysis would be on your screen. So what is it showing you? We have all the brands that have offered this promotion during this time frame, and we can see the distribution or percentage share of each brand sales during these promotions. And we can also see the unit volume sold during this promotion. Based on this hierarchy, we can see that how much contribution each brand was making on the unit volume sale, and what were the products associated with each brand. So we can see that most of the contribution or the category was for the energy drink and juices, and then and for this brand 696, we have product XYZ and product 4641, and we can see which product was high performing during the promotion that we have offered. And same, we have a trend analysis during this promotion, so we can see what was the sales over the period of time during the promotion that we were offering. And at the end, we can also see in which stores these promotions were offered and what was the actual sales on the stores during the active promotion. So for example, if I just select all the promotion, or if I just unselect the promotion, then we will see that obviously without promotion, we were selling all the products, and we can also see the actual product sales without promotions and during promotion, so that you can see what was the effectiveness of each promotion that was offered in the past for our specific product or the sub brand, so that you can gauge either is it viable option to continue this promotion in future or not. So these kind of answers we can get from these analytics, and it's very important in our industry to take data-driven actions based on our advanced analytics to make actions more concrete and more productive for our needs. So from here, I will hand it over to Nick. So that's
All
all I have
right.
to present.
Thank you, Avas, so much for your demos and the presentation. There was a lot of information there to unpack, so really appreciate you doing that for us today. And hopefully everybody who attended also feels the same way. We did get some answers that maybe some of you might need a little bit of help. So we are setting up workshops as an offer to this webinar, where we will provide just a free 1-hour workshop, and we can talk with you to better understand what you guys are looking for, what challenges you're coming across, and decide on how BI can help, and then also give you guys a good idea of the benefits you can see from embracing kind of data analytics and taking control of your data and making those decisions based on that. So on our next slide, I believe, is our contact information. So if you are interested in that workshop, please let us know, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to set up that our session, where even if you're on the edge and you're thinking, I'm not sure if this is right for me, it's well worth the time. It's free. Just talk it out with us, and then you can make a decision from there whether or not it's something you guys want to move forward with or something that you guys would benefit from. Otherwise, we do appreciate your time today. And I believe I might have lied to you guys. I think there might be one more poll that's going to be launched once we close this out. Not my fault. I can't control that. It's a part of the webinar. But again, if you have any questions or want to take advantage of that workshop, reach out to us. We'll also be sending out the recording so you can share it with colleagues or review it later. And you'll have our contact information as well. So thank you guys very much for your time, and have a great rest of your day.